ShinRobjira.
Oh man, I never thought I'd see the day. Today we're going to be talking about the Bandai limited movie monster series Godzilla store exclusive Titanosaurus from Terror of Mechagodzilla. Titanonucleosis will be standing at just over 7 inches tall. Man, back-to-back big boys. Thank you, Bandai. Jesus, tap dancing gigglefish, it's real. He's real. He's here. He's Titanosaurus. Let's take a look at this tag first. On the front of the tag, we have Titanosaurus, Godzilla 2023, Terror of Mechagodzilla, Godzilla Store something, movie monster series, Bandai Namco. Side of the card is cut out to the profile of Titanosaurus over here. And on the inside, you get some stuff. Are ya ready, kids?
Aye,
I can hear you!
Aye, Cap.
Oh! Since it's an exclusive, we have to double sleeve. Rob padding the video runtime pants. It's important to me, and I don't care if you seethe. Nice and minty. The cringening is over. Alrighty there, friends and neighbors. I want to make a quick exclamation point about this guy before we get started. I believe there are more than a few points on this figure that are hand painted, meaning the method of paint applications that Bandai used to do has made a return, although it is likely solely just for this release. Because there's just certain points on this figure where, when looking at past releases, it's clear they didn't have a machine do that, and it's just kind of nice to see this plethora of colors on a figure in ways that obviously wasn't machine done. Imperfections and all, it's nice, and to know that it's probably not going to continue after this guy in Godzilla. But anyway, starting at the head, we have maroons, we have yellows, we have golds, we have black strewn about all over here. There is so much paint to cover on this figure, I think I might do it for an hour and 35 minutes. Which means this video will likely be cut down to about 10 or 11 minutes. But it really is impressive, not just in the fact that it exists, but just that Bandai was able to recreate the Toys Dream Project version of Titanosaurus pretty well. Not flawlessly, but pretty well. I'm a pretty big fan of the black paint that's been strewn about on Titanosaurus, especially on the head area. It just looks damn cool. I'm especially a very big fan of the very candy-looking paint that they did for his antennae and his webbed little ears over here. Yeah, I would have preferred orange or something to that extent, but I think it works fine. Titanosaurus's teeth, to my surprise, actually look very well done. At least on one side, we've got one schmutz over here and a half-painted tooth over there. Good lord, look at that goofy fish. But at least he has 2 front teeth. I really like that his exposed tongue blocks out some of the teeth on his lower jaw over there. Good attention to detail. Not that Bandai would paint teeth on a tongue or that they ever have, but there is Biolante. And of course, we're going to get gold paint on his neck, moving into the Titano titties and lower torso, crotch, the whole 9 yards. And that's going to move into the underside of his tail in roaring good fashion. In fact, even the inner thighs are going to get a spritz of gold. Nothing as solid as the underbelly, but still something. And yes, you'll get that on both sides. Looking at Titanosaurus' sails, we're going to get more of that candy red and vanilla looking colors over here, really just aiding in making Titanosaurus all the more eye-catching. And of course, that's going to come to a head with his sail tail over here, which, yes, it looks like dessert, and I love the detailing on it. It's rather simply done, maybe not in the neatest of fashions, but I do so appreciate it. Now we can talk about the body, which may or may not leave some people in the fandom a little torn on how it was done. So we've got the dark burgundy as a base coat, we've got all of these little bumps on Titanosaurus' body done in a very thick black paint to really help them pop. And then on top of that, we've got lighter maroon reds, some yellows strewn about, and it looks messy. It really does. I'm not going to mince words with you here. It looks, yeah, kind of messy. And even in some areas, the paint kind of comes off a little mid. It just almost looks like the black paint kind of overtook some of the colors in some areas. And some of these nubs towards the tip of the tail won't be hit with that black unless they were and just this paint overtook it, which in looking at the tip of the tail might actually be the case. The paint job on Titanosaurus is a little uneven, but I think that's actually kind of accurate to what Titanosaurus Titanosaurus' suit looked like, and I think that just communicates that he's different. His skin patterns and all that fun stuff, they differ from side to side. That's pretty cool. Did I mention his brilliant and metallic golden eyes? Well, he's got two of them, and he looks a little wonky from the front. I wouldn't have it any other way, though. He's Gigglefish. Now we can continue looking at the rest of the paint over here, and again, a little messy, a little crackly. I don't know if this was an intentional thing done, or if this was an experiment gone terribly wrong. I haven't seen a review of the Bandai Toys Dream Project Titanosaurus, so for all I know, it could have been like this on the original figure. Looking at the figure from the front, you can see that Titanosaurus kinda has some two-tone looking legs over here. This pinkish number 2 eraser pencil looking color is rather nice. Mixed in with the yellows, it's even nicer really. And the black dots sitting within all of these colors, it's like I can see what Bandai was really going for here. Got some yellow on the ankles over here. We've got fully painted toes, of course, except on the underside, so that's okay. On the bottom of the feet, we have trademark Toho Company Limited 1975, and on the bottom of this foot, we can see Bandai 2002, which just proves that this is the same mold used in the Movie Monster series and the Toys Dream Project box set. Refocusing on some other areas, we've got more of those little black dots over here in between the golden underbelly. We've got no paint on the undersides of the arms, but if you take a closer look, yes, those blackened dots will be painted for the most part. There are some that are clearly not painted. And when you look at the opposite side of the arms, they're going to be strewn about with a good amount of paint as well. Honestly, what I say next might be a wee bit controversial, but before I do that, he's got fully painted nails. Now that I said that, I think I'd rather take a paint job like this than a paint job on what we saw with Kaiser Ghidorah, where there was clearly no care, even a little bit, put into that figure's paint job. And I'm really not trying to set this figure up like I'm upset with it, because I'm not. I finally have a Titanosaurus, and I love that he's got all of these random colors strewn about on him. I guess it's just because I didn't really see how the paint looked in the promo images, like in HD quality. So, you know, getting him out of the box for the first time, I was a little taken back. But at the same time, we still do get a lot of friggin' paint on this thing. Like, a lot. Black dots accounted for and everything. But it does leave me hoping that there will be a wide-released version of this figure that will hopefully be sporting his original Movie Monster series color palette, which, for those who don't know, does differ from this one, is much lighter and brighter, and is a bit more akin to that of the Defo-Real Titanosaurus. It might not be exactly like this guy, but it's closer to this guy than this guy. Detail, of course, is going to get a solid star. For my first vinyl Titanosaurus figure, I'm extremely impressed, and I only hope this means that there could be more on the way. Especially since they released this in 2023 and not in 2025, since this is 1975, and that really makes me wonder, what the hell are they doing in 2025? What anniversary is going to be celebrated there? Anyway, articulation time. We will get a swivel at the head. Holy shit! We will get another swivel at the arms. Oh yes, on both sides. And of course, a full swivel around at the legs over here with no issue at all, and nothing at the tail. Articulation will get a solid star, and now for me to finally discuss how I feel about the paint. I'm a teensy little bit let down, but I do love how colorful he is. I'm not really a big fan of how dark the base color is. I do much prefer brighter Titano. That is a personal preference, of course, and I genuinely think with everything that was done on this thing, with his two-toned nature and not one side matching the other, I'm gonna give it a 6. So I did a little bit of research post-recording, and upon seeing pictures of the original Movie Monster series release and the Toys Dream Project release, yeah, kind of reshifted my overall feelings about the black paint on this figure. With the Toys Dream Project version, it actually feels like the figure was fully painted before they did all the black glossy paint, which is why it looks a lot neater and a lot less messy. And then when it comes to the Movie Monster series version, that figure kind of had the weird crackly paint looking stuff on him. Made me feel a little bit better about this guy. But even there, the black paint looks like it was handled a lot better than it was here.
Or not, which really doesn't defeat that I'm still kind of just let down by that, yeah.
So I'm ditching the copium and I'm just going to speak myself freely. Yeah, you know what, friends and neighbors? I think I'm gonna be a little mean here, and I think I'm going to award Titanosaurus a half a star in terms of paint, but also maybe a solid star? Knowing that this crackling looking effect was present on the movie Monster Series version does make me a little merciful. It's just some of the application of this black paint just kinda comes off very haphazardly, especially in comparison to the original Toys Dream Project release. And there's just some areas on this figure, namely where the yellow and the brighter maroons lay, where the black paint just doesn't look all of that great. I actually think it was done best on the head, even if over here he's got a bit of a twirled mustache look going on. I want to be clear, I don't hate this guy, far from it, but I am feeling a little let down with the messier nature of the paints. Looking at the original Toys Dream Project and even the movie Monster Series release, it kinda just put things into perspective for me. This could have been done better, especially for an exclusive. And I say solid star as well because the solid colors on him, like everything on his sails, his antennae, his eyes, his nails, his underbelly, all of that's really good. It's just that this black paint overtakes most of his body, so I feel I more so have to lean with the half a star versus the solid star. Anyway, time for size comparisons and other things. Original 74 movie Monster Series Godzilla, Bandai Godzilla 1954 poster color version, Mechagodzilla damage color version, Jeffo Real Titanosaurus, Mini-Mates Titanosaurus, Shokugan Final Climax Shin, King of the Monsters Series Final Climax Shin. And as a little bonus, here's Titanosaurus with Mechagodzilla and Godzilla. I just had to. I couldn't not. They all look so good together. I really can't wait for 75 Goji to show up. I mean, even though this is 74, they're very similar in size and such. I love it. It's great to finally have a Titanosaurus in the movie Monster Series, even if it's a limited movie Monster Series release. But maybe we can expect, like I said, the original color scheme in the movie Monster Series around 2025 or even sooner. And if we don't end up getting that, I mean, I'm perfectly fine with this, his two-tone color nature with all his black glossy bumps on his skin and shit. And that's it. When next we meet, we'll be talking about 1975 Godzilla, and then after that, I don't friggin' know. Probably Jada Toys Chun-Li, because of course.